Well, it's about that time. I just looked at the clock and it struck 8 o'clock Central Time. So today I'm going to go live with you and I'm going to talk to you about getting prepared for quarter four. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I was just fielding quarter four and Christmas order messages just yesterday, right? So I just feel like it was just quarter four, and here we are again. I call this my quarter four pregame. So in the month of September, I'm getting all ready for the upcoming holidays. I just went live in my Facebook group that I'm the admin of, and I said, you guys, this is our pregame. Let's get ready. Let's not get robbed of our own holiday time once again. I have all these ideas, I have all these high hopes. Then it's like Christmas comes and Christmas goes, and it's time for us to enjoy our holidays too. But it's quarter four. This is our money making time. So let's get started and let's crush this. So I see some comments coming in. Ray and Heidi, they are members of my group, Primary Market Laser Partners. So if you are tuning in and you don't know who I am Kathryn Ewers, and I am the owner and operator of Primary Market Gifts and Goods. And about 2 years ago, I started a laser group. And I would have to say, every day I wake up, I feel so blessed that Primary Market Laser Partners is mine. I'm definitely coming off of a high. I just got back from the Next Level Laser Conference. And if you were part of Next Level Laser Conference and you were in Texas, let me see in the comments because it was such a good time. I try to explain how much fun it is. So if you were there, you got to see all of the X tools working, the metal fab. One of the things that was not at the conference was the P3. But I'm so fortunate. I just got a call today from the freight carriers, and they said that mine is coming on Friday. So I'm super excited. Oh, I see some more um, familiar names popping up in the comments. I'm getting so distracted already. But I wanted to jump on with you tonight and talk to you about how to tackle quarter four with your X Tool machine. So let's get started. Stay tuned because we're going to have some giveaways tonight and we're going to have a discount code. So there's going to be a discount code for 10% off all of the tool products minus the P3. But, if you need to stock up, you need to get some blanks, you need a new machine. I got one of my favorite machines behind me here, my F1. So that was the first machine that I purchased. And I'll give you a little background on why I went with that F1. So I am a teacher. It is in my nature. So let me get started with my presentation. Okay, here we go. So there's going to be, like I said, there's going to be that 10% off code. You're going to use live KE for Kathryn Ewers 10, and it's going to be valid for 3 days after this event, and then it goes away. So make sure that if you want to take advantage of the 10%, you jumped onto the Xtool website and you make your purchases with that live KE 10. So 10% off coupon. Okay, so let's get started. Oh no, it keeps on freezing. Okay, hopefully my internet's going to be okay. Okay, so this is the X-Tool 5th Anniversary Carnival. And I don't know about you, but I started about 5 years ago. I started my laser business back in COVID of 2020. So we celebrated our 5th year anniversary, and X-Tool is celebrating their 5th year anniversary. So like I said before, they're offering all of you 10% off. The code is available just for this week, a couple days after our live stream. And machines are shipping super fast now because we do have the US based facility out in California. We got US based support. our GM out there, Stein. Some of you may have met him at the Next Level Conference. He's awesome. He's really good at what he does, and he's really been an asset to me as an X-Tool user. So I want to thank everybody from X-Tool for believing in me and having me back to do this once again. So I see a lot of people tuning in. There's Angie from Mississippi. She's a friend of mine. Oh, I think it's going to be a good night, guys. Okay. So in addition to the 10%, there's going to be free gifts with purchase, a $60 mystery box, consumables if you purchase with this code. And this week only, there's a free limited time free demo room if you want to see that P3. So if you want to go to a demo room, if you want to do a demo room online, it is free this week only for any of the machines. And the P3 demo room is going to be free through the month of September. So I cannot wait to unbox mine. We are free this weekend. We have a concert to go to this weekend for a benefit. And then that following week, we're going to another meetup. And that meetup is going to be the Michigan meetup. So I'm going to be talking about some tips and tricks at that meetup as well. I'm going to post this video in the group. I am going to share the presentation, and the live link will be in our group as well. So if you're tuning in, my group is Primary Market Laser Partners. We just hit 17,000. Today I looked and we're at like 17,100. It just blows my mind that we are growing that fast, and it is a group of wonderful, supportive individuals. Okay, so let's move on here. Okay, I want to talk to you about how we got started. And this is one thing that I took away from the conference. And when I'm talking about branding, I think that it is so important to tell your story because people want to buy from you. They don't want to just buy from a business, they want to buy from you. They want you to know who you are. So storytelling builds connections with your audience. So I want to tell you a little bit about us. We got started with the personalization industry back in the COVID quarantine. So you can see here, we have these little succulents that we were selling. And during the COVID quarantine in 2020, we weren't going anywhere. We were a little nervous about leaving the house because don't forget, COVID was only going to last a week. We we're all going to follow the rules and then we're all going to go back to life. Well, obviously that didn't happen. So it was a time that we had to venture out to get a teacher appreciation gift for our daughter's preschool teachers. I went to the local plant store, closed. There was nothing open. And I thought to myself, I want a plant. I wanted a succulent to give to the preschool teachers. So I went into the Home Depot. I found some succulents. I came home and I was like, I got to jazz this up because I knew at the local florist, she'd really do it up. So I thought, well, this is on me now. So I came home, printed off this little tag on cardstock that says, thanks for helping me grow. I took some twine, I tied it to the plants, posted it on a local garage sale site. And within minutes, we were just selling tons of plants. So people were coming to our front door and they were buying plants. And it just took off. And I got such satisfaction from helping busy parents. They didn't have to take their kids anywhere. They got their teacher appreciation gift. It was a grab and go. And they were totally appreciative for what we were doing. So I thought to myself, I feel like I'm on to something. So we did the plants for a while. It got super dirty. My house is full of dirt all the time. And then at that time, I was like, okay, I'm going to buy a glow forge because that's what we all did, right? No research. We just went out and bought all these glow forge units and hope for the best. So it was about $6,500. And I remember at that time, my husband was laid off. And I said, so I just bought this laser and we're going to make some money with it. And he's like, okay. And here we are. The main reason that we started Primary Market was because we needed some extra spending money. We wanted to take our daughter for ice cream. We wanted some plants for the back deck. We just wanted some little odds and ends that we just needed a couple extra bucks for. And so that's why we started our business. But like I said, I think it's always very important for you to share with your audience, share your story, especially if you have a website and Etsy or wherever you're selling, it's very important for you to get out there and tell your audience what you are all about. Okay. I gotta see myself. So I'm gonna put myself down here in the corner so I can see that. Anyway, I want to talk to you about a couple of machines that I run. My first purchase was my little F1. So my little F1, here's my little F1. I bought that F1 back in March of 2024. And I was waiting on my fiber. And I knew that jewelry was taking off and I knew that jewelry was getting hot. And I thought, I feel like I'm missing out on the jewelry market. I'm missing out on that metal market. So I need something. So that's when I bought my F1. And I'll tell you what, my F1 was a lot more than people are paying for that machine now. Um, and then after I got my F1, I bought my F1 Ultra. So the F1 was doing tons of little, I wish I had it up. They're sitting out on the counter in the kitchen right now because they just arrived today. I was doing prom charms. What prom charms are, it's just a little metal disc, a little stamping blank, and I put prom 2024. So I carried that little F1 around the house. I would go upstairs, I would be doing my makeup, and I was running prom charms. I would go downstairs, I'd work out, and I'd be doing charms. I'd go in the kitchen, I'd empty the dishwasher, and I'd do prom charms because at that in 2024 prom, I did over 200 prom charms, and I sold them for $10 a piece. And no cleanup, super, super easy. And it was just like, oh, I feel like I'm on to something. F1 Ultra comes along as a fiber component. It was taking me 10 minutes, maybe not that long, maybe like 6 to 7 minutes on my F1. And then it was like 2 seconds at the most on my F1 Ultra. I was like, this is great. How do we enter the raffles? I'm just checking a couple of comments here as we're going. The raffles, we're going to have you add a comment, and then X Tool is going to pick those winners. Yeah, I thought I was the only one that carried the F1 around the house to do crafts. It's really funny. Like, I'll never forget getting the F1, and I was like, what is the hype about? This is the size of a lunchbox. But that lunchbox is one of my favorite little tools. So where did I get inspired by? I was inspired actually by Liz Rivers at the Laser Outpost, and she just kept talking about this little F1, and she definitely influenced me to buy that. So moving on, F1 Ultra. And then I feel like, oh my goodness, I want to start incorporating these in my classroom. So I got in touch with the X tool and I said, hey, I want to have a class. I want to have an entrepreneurship class. And I would love to cut some wood and make some things in my classroom. It was such a blast. So then X tool sent me the S1 so that you can see in the middle here. So the S1 is a 40-watt diode as well. It is not a CO2, but it cuts wood so great, and we just made some great things in the classroom. And I use that S1 as a supplement out in the garage all the time as well. And then I got my M1 Ultra. So that little orange one down here in the corner. The M1 Ultra has a laser and it has a rotary cutter, and uh, it also has a vinyl cutter on it too, and it has an inkjet printer. Now, people are going to confuse a lot of people have reached out to me about the M1 Ultra. They're like, is it like a UV printer? No, it's not a UV printer. It's an inkjet printer. So it does have inkjet capabilities with that too. So for the ultimate crafting experience, M1 Ultra does a whole lot of different things. You don't need a Cricut anymore when you have an F1 Ultra. And then over in the bottom corner, you can see that new machine that's coming on Friday. Jason doesn't even know that it's coming on Friday. We're super excited about it. Yeah. So I see a couple things about the F1 OG. Yeah, that F1 OG, she like that's my girl. She just does a good job. And I was just on the phone with a friend, and Hannah and I were just talking about the F1 and having that as a little supplement to commercial grade lasers. A few years back, if we had a broken tube from freezing, if our lasers went down, if something happened with the electrical, we would be out a laser. I'm running commercial grade lasers out in my garage. And I just remember years ago being like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I can outsource this work, but none of us like do work like we wanted. And I just thought to myself, I just need something. I just need something supplemental. Now, if you are running commercial grade lasers, my suggestion is just to have that little F1 as a standby or an F1 Ultra as a standby. F1, I mean, you can get it tonight. It was on sale for what? A little over $1,100, 10% off. I mean, you can really get an F1 for next to nothing now. So with that being said, I think that that's such an advantage to have that little thing sitting in your laser arsenal for, God forbid something happens to the lasers that you're running every single day. And you can do tumblers on it. You can do metal with it. You can engrave slate. You can engrave leatherette. You can engrave wood. There's so many things that you can do with that small but mighty little machine. Can't wait to see what the P3 is going to do. Yeah, Randy's saying over here, I love my S140 watt. It's cut so clean. I got some pre-finished Baltic birch about 2 weeks ago from Creative Cuts, and David is hosting the Michigan meetup with Blake from Great Lakes Laser Supply. I'll tell you, I got some of that pre-finished Baltic birch. I stuck it in the S1, and we all know about Baltic birch. It's got some waves to it. And I'll tell you what, that S1 that was so consistent and it cut through so well. Okay, so let's move on. I'm seeing some more friends show up. Our cuddle girl, Diane McLeod, just showed up. She has some of the best designs. So last time I did a live, I had everybody else read the comments for me because I really didn't know what I was doing. Not that I really do now, but um, but it's so fun to see all these comments. Kendra, the Madeira girls, super fun. We had the best time in Texas. Okay, I'm getting distracted. In the comments for $100 gift card from X Tool, I want you to tell me what X Tool you have, if you have any, and which one do you want? So, what do you have if you have one? And what do you want? I got the P3 comment ordered and paid for. Howard, awesome. That's it's just so exciting. Whether you are getting your first F1, whether you're getting the metal cutter, my husband is begging for the metal cutter. We went to Tennessee in the spring and we went to Mike Smirka's shop. He was one of the first to get the metal cutter, and Jason has been begging for a metal cutter ever since. And I'm like, we don't have the space. And no, but he's like, he just keeps showing me all these things, all these things. I said, I don't know his market. And he goes, oh no, we're gonna make it your market. So I'm just waiting for Jason to pop up on the side, like, what do you want? Metal fan. I can just see it coming through. Yeah, those comments are going. So Frances is with me tonight. She's amazing, and she from X Tool, and she's going to pick one of our winners. Yeah, D1 Pro. A lot of people started with that D1 Pro. You guys got so many comments coming in. I want the apparel printer. Yes. Um, I've seen the apparel printer in operation, and that is a cool machine. I always say I don't do apparel. I'll do hats, but there's so many people in my town that do apparel really, really well. I am not one of them. Okay. Okay. I'm seeing so many familiar names. I'm just so glad that my group members are with me tonight. So, like, if you're tuning in now, my group is Primary Market Laser Partners, and I would love to have you over there. So, everything I'm talking about tonight, I'm going to post in the group because it's just what I do. I love posting and sharing my ideas. Okay. I'm going to move on. I'm going to let Francis choose the winner. Yeah, F3. How about it, right? I have a 5-watt UV laser, and oh my gosh, it does not compare. UV lasers do not compare when it comes to glass. I should have some glass to show you. I have all these ideas of all these things that I wanted to show you, and none of them are sitting here now. But I got stuff to show you. We're going into quarter four. I'm ready. Okay. Okay, so what can you do? What can you do with these X tools? You can do everything from, and I got a document camera, so you're going to see all these products in my live tonight close. So you can do slate, you can do acrylic, you can do leatherette. Okay, so this is a fun one. Like I said, you're going to see all of these again in better quality because I got my little back camera here. Here's some leatherette. You're going to see some metal jewelry tonight. You're going to see some wood cut. And I'm telling you, that S1 does such a good job cutting wood. So if your budget doesn't warrant you to have a CO2, the S1 is a really great option for cutting. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so we're talking about September. We're talking about our pregame, and September is now our new December. There was a newsletter that came out from Make Your Flow. If you purchase from Make Your Flow, or if you're following the Make Your Flow, you will be getting newsletters from usually from John. Mark will send a newsletter from time to time, but John sent out a newsletter the other night. And I read it and I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, this is so good." So I'm literally like copying and pasting. I asked him today, I said, "Hey, can I use your content?" And he said, "Of course, go for it." Because they run a successful business. I always refer to them as my business mentors or my business consultants. They were just in China themselves, and I tried to give them their space. But I'm back. I'm so glad that they're back in the United States because I have all these questions. I have all these things preparing for quarter four. Because they're running this successful business, I'm always relying on their input on what I should do for my business. So, September, now I want to bring to your attention businesses are budgeting and they're exploring their options right now for their corporate gifts. And you think to yourself, like, it's September, it's the fall. Who's thinking about Christmas? Corporations are. I'm doing so many corporate gifts. For instance, tonight, I just shared in my group, I have a business that I work with in Indiana. I'm in Illinois. They wanted some big memory boxes. They're talking like almost 17 inches. So these are 17 by 14 by 5. So those are some good sized memory boxes. And they're filling them up. They're filling them up with all of these goods. So I reached out to a fellow friend who is a woodworker. He gave me some samples tonight, so I can't wait to give those to the company in Indiana. I sent him a picture. They just look beautiful. So October, this is when the companies start making their final decisions and they start placing their orders. Now you're into November. Now I'm talking about corporations. I'm not talking about your one-off. I'm not talking about grandmas and grandpas and moms and dads that are coming to you for gifts. I'm not talking about the moms that are looking for teacher gifts. We're talking about corporate business to business right now. So when you hit November for corporate gifting, business to business, you're too late. They've already ordered or they're panic buying from Amazon. They're not getting your quality goods. They're looking elsewhere if they waited this long. Okay. So just keep in mind that September, right now, this is your time to start reaching out to those businesses. And I don't know if I may mention this. I just feel like you guys know me because my group does. But I was sitting at school today and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a full time teacher. I'm a full time science teacher at the local parochial high school. And I teach college classes too. I'm sitting in school today and I'm like, I need to be reaching out to businesses. It's September. My September pregame is more organization. So I'm trying to really organize and get ready for quarter four. We can't wait for quarter four to start. We need to pregame quarter four. November. So like I said, November is just too late. Um, Jimmy said need to get stocked up on items to sell at those holiday sales. Absolutely. So we're going to be talking about that in tonight's live too. Okay. Also, December. This is the time when when your corporations are receiving their orders, they're not placing them. So the problem is most makers start pitching those holiday gifts in November when the businesses are already saying, hey, we've already ordered. So I added John in there because this is definitely coming. This is not from, I can't take credit for all this information. And I did summarize his email in a PDF document that I'm going to actually put in my group too. But, he's been doing this. They started off selling women's shoes and now they're selling to all of us. But have your business mentors, talk to as many people as you can. We love sharing our success stories. We love sharing with our audience. So make sure that you are talking to as many other fellow business owners as you can. But this is just foreshadowing what's to come for quarter four. Okay. Like I said, I made a PDF document today. Can't take credit for it. It was great information that everybody needs to read. So you didn't read the Maker Flow newsletter, don't worry, I summarized it and I'll get it to you in a PDF. Okay. Whoops, I went too far. So I am a teacher. Here's your objectives of my lesson. Planning ahead, stocking up, optimizing your online presence, marketing and engagement, streamlining your fulfillment, and leveraging by showing behind the scenes. And then, of course, if you know me, we're going to seal the deal. I'm going to show you how to package your goods to make them the ultimate gift ready goods. So that's all happening tonight. So thank you so much for tuning in with me. I just feel so honored that I was asked to do this again and that you're all here. The little girl just got home from cheer and she's running around like she doesn't want to disturb me. Okay, so here's a quote. Oh, did you know that nearly 40% of all yearly sales happen in quarter four? If you're not prepared to leave it almost half of your revenue on the table. For quarter four, nearly 40% of sales happen during this time. So if you think about all the work that you've done all year round, quarter four, 40% of that work is going to happen. 40% of those sales are going to happen in quarter four. So let's get prepared for that. What are we going to do? And I'm telling you what, I'm sitting here thinking like, well, I need to take notes on this. It's my presentation. I guess I'm trying to tell you everything that I need to know myself. Oh, Victor, don't tell Blake I left his line for yours. It's so funny because the other night Blake got in touch with me. He's like, "Hey, let's talk about packaging. Let's do a live and talk about your packaging. Well, you're gonna be talking about the Michigan meetup." And I was like, "Oh, I'm, we don't have much going on. We sit over at cheer, wait for Jay to get out of cheer." But I was like double booked for tonight. I had to say no to Blake. But I think we're gonna do our live on Wednesday. So just tune back in, Victor, on Wednesday. You guys, we have 150 people with us. I'm beyond honored that you're all here with me. Okay. Okay. So last year I left so much money on the table because not advertising. I feel that. I feel that there's days that go by and I'm like, why didn't I post? When I first started out, here's my inventory slide, but I'm getting off on a tangent. Welcome to my teaching. When I first started out, Mark and Will that ran the Next Level conference, they would do these live webinars. And I just remember somebody asking Will, well, how do I know if I'm posting enough? And he said, when you think to yourself, maybe you're not posting enough, you're not. And I always think about that. I always think about that comment and think, I'm not posting enough. I know that. I pay a lot of attention to my group, But on my retail side, I'm really slacking at that. I really need somebody to manage my social media. I could do a whole webinar on delegation. That's one of the things I'm going to be talking about at the Michigan meetup. So I want to know who's going to Michigan. Who's coming to the Michigan meetup? Let's see in the comments. Michigan? Michigan? It's only like 3 hours from us. We're just driving. And we're coming by ourselves. Okay. Okay. So let's move on. So inventory. Um, so inventory, ordering blanks. And oh, Victor, I wish you were coming too. When you're ordering blanks, your tumblers, your ornaments, and your boards and your leatherette patches, you have to say to yourself, you have to take inventory on what you have. And if you've been doing this for over a year, you kind of look at your trends or look at the trends that are leading up to quarter 4. What are your 5 top selling products? What are you going to push? What is your inventory going to be? What are you going to stock up on? Popular products, focus on seasonal items, focus on your teacher gifts. That's one of the niches that we really go and we really dive into. What about stocking stuffers? Christmas decor, stocking stuffers, travel jewelry boxes, leatherette travel jewelry boxes. You put on your little F1, it takes 30 seconds to engrave, and they look so nice and they're so practical, and everybody absolutely loves a travel jewelry box. I've been selling travel jewelry boxes since 2020, and they're still very sought after. Some of my what I refer to as my evergreen products, the products that I keep up on my website, are uh, ones that I always keep in stock. Now, I stock products that I feel that are easily accessible. So if I want to stock a product and I know like if it starts dwindling down, I can have it within the week. I don't keep a lot of that in stock. So I don't know, truthfully, I don't know inventory wise what the appropriate number is. I think that all changes from job to job, from business to business. So like I said, for inventory, you just have to analyze where your business trends are. But then again, don't be like the COVID years in overstock. Then you sit on that product. I've learned for inventory in our business, it has changed so much and it has evolved so much. So some of the things that are really popular right now weren't as popular last year. I'm hoping that blankets take off again because they're super easy. A few years ago, I made a blanket tag, and I definitely take credit for that design. You know, I made blanket tags and sold so many blankets. Um, so what packaging? This is another thing too that I want you to reflect on. When you're getting ready for quarter 4, you got to think about, do I have my ribbon? Do I have my bows? Do I have my cellophane? Do you have wrapping paper? Do you have tape? Do you have boxes? One year I ran out of my ornament boxes. So my ornament boxes, these are my ornament boxes. These are great. So, but there was one year I couldn't get them. So I was getting these oversized boxes. I was paying more, but boxes are very important in my business. I make sure that I stock up on my boxes. And I'm talking about don't overbuy. And Jason always says, "Well, this isn't going to go bad. This isn't going to go stale. Make sure that you stock up." I was like, "Okay, okay." I go real on the cheap side. Jason's like, "No, you better stock up on that inventory." So that's one of the things that you got to be mindful of. Like, what kind of inventory are you going to keep? Okay. So this is a real picture that I took the other day before I started going through my inventory and kind of looking at what I have, what I don't have. This is a good section of our inventory. What do we have? Not much for our business. This isn't a lot. We got some, you can see in the middle there, some black. I use those as Christmas Eve boxes. I got a couple cutting boards, but I don't have enough. This week, I realized I don't have enough because the orders came in over the weekend. I was like, holy cow, I'm like dwindling down. It's time to stock up. So I did. I spent a lot of money today stocking up on different things. Okay. Yes, Heidi. Yes, I need to go back to blanket tags. Me too. I'm just waiting for Macy's to drop those back down to $11.99. If they're still at 16 today, they're at $55. I need those blankets to go back to $11.99. Okay. So personalized gifts aren't just trending, they are expected. In quarter four, when shoppers want something meaningful, engraved goods are the first thing that they're going to go to. So, are you ready to meet that demand? Do you have something in your arsenal that you can provide for the personalization industry? In personalized gifts, this is just the norm now. For example, at my high school where I teach, we are a homecoming court. They give gifts to each they give gifts to everybody on the court. So, for example, my Serenity, who is our worker, she's on homecoming court this year. She has to buy for 10 other students. So each of those kids on court have to buy a gift for each kid. So tonight I was doing some gifts and I was just gonna make some generic picture frames, some generic acrylic picture frames. And the mom reached out to me and she's like, "Can you add a personal name to each one of those?" I was like, yeah, I can do that. Because personalization is key. People want personalized gifts. Sound is out. Okay. Um, can you comment if you can still hear me? Mm, okay. Hey, Jason, I need you to go on the live and see if you can hear me because I don't know if anybody can. Yes. Okay, good. Never mind, Jace. You need to, and this is one of the things that I talked about at the conference. You need to optimize your online presence. So whether it's an Amazon, whether it's an Etsy, whether it's a website, make sure your listings are optimized with your keywords, with your SEO. What do I know about SEO? What do I know about keywords? I don't know any of that, but I have a website team that does really good. This past weekend, I thought, oh my gosh, wow, team, good job. I had a lot of orders come in. So, make sure that your Amazon, your Etsy, your website is all up and running. Make sure that you got your listings on there. Make sure you have your photography. Your photography, you got like a split second to make an impression on those that are going to buy from you. And as you know, how many times are we scrolling and we're scrolling? And what are the things that catch our eye? Some very well staged photography is what's going to catch our eye. Let me tell you about my photography before I hired it out. People are really good, and there's some really great teachers on how to teach photography. I don't like taking photos. I'm not good at it, and this is now. So I'll tell you who I delegate these things to as well. So in your photography, show underneath the Christmas tree, on a house, something being gifted. Okay, so behind me here, I got a nice gift bag. You need to start getting your customers acclimated to the fact that you are a gift shop and you are going to help them with their needs for the holiday season. Hey, tell them now. Like, if you want to start preparing for your holiday gifts, let me help you. Let's brainstorm together. Here is my Amazon links to Amazon Handmade, Etsy. Here's my website. Get the wheels turning. Don't have your customers wait to that last minute. It's gonna be stressful on them. It's gonna be stressful on you. Okay. How about now? Am I good? Yes. Thanks, Heidi. Plant the seed now. Jason, can you do me a favor? Can you get on the live and just tell me when we're cutting out? I don't know what's going on with the internet. Okay, thanks. So let's talk about my website. If you want to take a look at my website is primarymarket.store. I can't do it by myself. I have not given up teaching because um, I absolutely love teaching. I live in Ottawa, and you're using MediaCom has cut me out 3 times tonight. Oh, Brandon, I'm in Ottawa. I'm in Ottawa. MediaCom is my service provider. Thank you, MediaCom. Oh, son of a gun. Okay. Well, anyway, hopefully, okay, you're good now. Good. Thanks. I appreciate you guys. So I wanted to introduce you to my web designers. This is SNA, snadigital.com. Tristy and Arpit. They are an agency that are based in India. They were at the Next Level conference. I can't do everything I do without a delegation. So I delegate my photography to Chelsea Tate. You're going to see her on the next slide. I delegate my website to SNA Digital. If you want me to get you in touch with SNA, I am affiliated with them. They have been monumental in my growth. One thing I do want to say, just because you build a website doesn't mean that you're going to get more sales. Just like your social media presence, you got to make sure that you're updating your website. And our pitch on the back end does such a fantastic job. So they are our web designers, but I'm going to tell you what, they've made such an impact on our daughter at the Next Level conference. We talk to them almost daily now. Jay, our 9-year-old, checks in with Tristy. Tristy is Jay's best friend. They're honest, they're reliable, and they just do a really good job. Yeah, SNA is a lifesaver. Yes, Jennifer. Okay. So I just wanted to, show you some little glimpse of my website. So most visitors are going to decide within seconds if they want to stay on your website or if they want to leave. I'm going to take a step back for a second. Stitch and Ember, are they affordable? Yes, they will build on your budget. So, for Jason's job, he does high-end staircases. Their website's just a little bit different from mine. So when he was quoted from SNA, it was completely different from my ballpark of what I could afford. But they're going to build based upon your needs. But I wanted to talk about, I just saw the Stitch and Ember on the side comment. I purchased a sweatshirt of Stitch and Ember for our daughter for, I'd say Christmas, but chances are she's probably gonna get it way before that because it's super, super cute. So Stitch and Ember, check out her website. She does fantastic embroidery. I'm so excited about it. Okay, anyway, primarymarket.store is my website if you want to check it out. Okay. Okay, this is a good time for me to catch a breath. In the comments for $100 for Clicks Tool, type one word to describe how you feel about Q4. How do you feel about Q4? Yeah, Heidi, check out Stitch and Ember. She shipped it super fast, and quality is great and totally affordable. Today I was like, oh my gosh, I can't stop spending money. But I wanted to buy like all of her new designs. Overwhelmed. Determined, excited, ready, stressed. Yes. We're all at different points in our businesses: positive, nervous, ready, scared, excited. And these are some of the things that, as unprepared, yes, April, I'm with you. Overwhelmed, but as you see all these comments, we are all in this together. We have to keep in mind, as fellow makers, we need to remember that we all have these feelings, whether we're excited, whether we're anxious, whether we're nervous, whether you're first starting out or whether you're a veteran. We all have all these emotions. We need to realize that these emotions are real. We need to support one another. We're all in this together. We learn from one another. We cry together. We laugh together. We get ticked off together. And just keep in mind that like these emotions are going to be on high for quarter four. Okay, so I'm going to let Frances pick her winner. Okay, so this is Chelsea. She runs charmingfindsdesigns.com. She does my graphic design that you're going to see tonight. She does all of my photography. She is just been a lifesaver, and she has some of the best designs. So on my X Tool machines, leatherette especially, she does some phenomenal designs that it's like super quick, super easy, big money makers with charming finds on Etsy, her designs. And I'm telling you, they're super simplistic, great sellers. So can't wait to show you some of her stuff too. Okay. So here's some of my photography from Chelsea. When I get back my photography, I was like, oh my gosh, so good. So baby gifts, gifts for men, most of this stuff here. So all of this stuff can be done on all of this stuff can be done on X tool machines. So, but I never knew how great a diode was at doing leatherette. When you're doing leatherette on a CO2, so all my leatherette was all done on my Glowforge or my Mirror 9, my commercial grid laser. So all of my leatherette was done on those machines prior to getting my little lunchbox F1. And now all of my leatherette is done solely basically on my F1 or my F1 Ultra. I use my S1 more for cutting wood, but the way that the F1 and the way that the F1 Ultra can frame, it's super, super easy. You send her your products. Yes, she's in Ohio and I'm in Illinois. So I box them up, I send them to her, she photographs, she sends them back. And it's a really good, it's great. Oh, thanks, babe. Brought me a water. Why do you think I'm talking too much? No. Okay. Okay. Let's move on. Marketing, content calendar. I'm going to post in my group tonight that email that I got from John Modi at Maker Flow, and it gives strategies week by week. September, first week of September, second week of September, and it goes through everything that we are supposed to do through October, and it's like the ultimate guidelines for us. There's sometimes like I think I know what I'm doing, but there's many times I feel like I need to be told this is what you need to do to be successful. So a content calendar, plan posts around major dates like Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday. When is your cutoff? When are you going to cut your orders off? Some things that I like to tell my students: lack of preparation on your part doesn't constitute emergency on mine. It is the last minute people that do us in. It's those people that wait to the last minute. Make sure that you don't cater to those people that are going to do you in. When is your deadline? When is your cutoff for the holidays? I think mine is going to be Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday, we're done. Okay? Algorithm boosters. I think I'm like, what the heck's up with the picture of the lights? Algorithm boosters. If you want to start getting stuff to boost your algorithms, are you team real tree or are you team artificial tree? Jason grew up with a real tree. I grew up with an artificial. Guess what kind of tree we have? We have artificial. Um, emails and socials. Send early bird specials in October. Reminders in November and last call shipping deadlines in December. You don't want your people in December to be like, well, it didn't come in time. And then, of course, it's your fault. Of course, it's your fault that it wasn't shipped in time, right? Okay. So most gift spending happens early. Check this statistic out. About 39% of total holiday gift spending is expected to happen between Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday, and nearly 80% of the holiday budget will be used. 80% of the holiday budget will be used by the end of Cyber Monday. That's way before Christmas. So dial in, get going on those sales now. Okay. Promotion and urgency, early bird discounts. I don't do a lot of discounting. If I do discount, or if I do like, if I'm going to, um, if like I said, I don't do a lot of discounts, but I do give back a lot. So if there is a school that wants to do a fundraiser, I give back to the school. Or if there's like a club that wants to do a fundraiser, I'll give back to the club. But I really don't do too many discounts per se, but not saying that that's something that you can't do. So you could offer an early bird discount. Black Friday, biggest sale of the year. December, last chance for Christmas delivery. Just because, just because it is December and you don't want to make new goods, if you got stuff laying around like generic things, post them. Post them on your websites. Post them on your Etsy. 5 available. I got 5 of these left. Who wants them? People want that last minute stuff. They want those last minute stocking stuffers. How many times do we do as consumers? Oh, I just need one more thing. So have that stuff. Pull that stuff and post it on your socials. I got 5 of these left. Who wants it? Okay. Streamline fulfillment. Make sure you have your cutoff dates. And I know I got ahead of myself on that. Clearly communicate your Christmas order deadlines. That's one of the things that I'm going to do with SNA. I'm going to reach out to our pit and I'm going to be like, Cyber Monday, that's it. No more. Puts out of stock everything. You cannot, you cannot be running ragged all throughout the holidays. It robs us of our happiness. It robs us of our time with our families. You have to have definitive cutoff dates. Batch processing. Run ornaments in bulk. If you are following Jevin, oh shoot, and I'm not going to know what Jevin's YouTube channel is, but Jevin is affiliated with Xtool. And Jevin runs a phenomenal. I hope somebody will post what Jevin's YouTube is in the comments. But he is the one that teaches me all about batch processing. And like for example, he did a YouTube on can coolers or koozies or can dusters, whatever, wherever you buy them from, everybody has a different name for them. But Jeff engraving. And he talked about like having a stretcher for your can cooler ready and just keep on feeding and feeding and feeding those can coolers. And he did it all on the F1, all on the F1. Do that batch processing, run ornaments in bulk, prep common designs ahead of time, and then showcase your gift wrapping. Upsell, upsell, upsell with your gift wrapping. I have a order that's going out tonight, tomorrow, this week, sometime. And the winery owner was like, she ordered these little limoncello, little wine shot glasses. She's like, hey, make sure, oh my gosh, thanks, Jay. She's like, hey, can you make sure that you gift wrap all of them? Because last time she wanted some gift wrapped and some didn't. She didn't. And she's like, the ones that were gift wrapped, it went the fastest. So this is just a little wine glass. There's a wine walk this week, and she wants them for the weekend. She wants the wine walk is this weekend. She wanted to make sure. So I got the logo, and I'll get this in my document camera so you can see it better. But she wanted her logo on these little shot glass wine glasses. So I made her 12 about a week ago, and they all sold. So she's like, I need more, I need more. It's like, hey, no problem. But it was funny tonight when we were talking. She's like, make sure that you gift wrap all those this time. I said, you got it. I can do that. People come to me for my gift wrapping. Okay. Behind the scenes, you gotta show your behind the scenes work. You gotta get in front of the camera. You go, I know that that's hard, but you know what? People like to see the process. This is actually a video that I posted. I don't know, it's gonna pull up here. Um, But anyway, so this is a video that's not shown on my stream tonight. It was funny because it was the F1 Ultra was going back and forth and back and forth, back and forth. And there's actually a way to speed up your engraving. This took a couple minutes. But Patrick Campanelli is another associate of X Tool, and he's a friend of ours. And Patrick's been doing videos. And he's been posting those videos in my group on how to speed up engraving with an F1 or an F1 Ultra. And um what was happening, I on my video I was like, well, obviously I have not watched Patrick's video because my laser going back and forth and back and forth. But you can do smart processing and you can really increase the speed of your engraves. So Ellen said I do all behind the scenes, but not my face. And that's okay too. I watch a girl that was part of Laser MakerCon, and all she just shows is her hands. And I like watching her hands move too. She does tons of teacher appreciation gifts. It doesn't have to be your face, but people like to see the process. We do too. We like to see the process. So if you are engraving, post a video, like post it behind the scenes. I actually sent this to the customer that bought the board, and she was thrilled. She was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much." She's like, "I just never knew how that actually worked." Now she does. Okay. Packaging as a sales tool. I did a whole presentation at the Next Level Conference on branding and packaging. It is my jam. It's your first impression when your customer comes to the door, comes to your business, comes to do a pickup, or is delivered to their house. Packaging, for me, I like the experience. I like the experience of the packaging. So Stitch and Ember that just sent me Jay's embroidered sweatshirt, it came in the nicest poly mailer. It had this nice design on it and everything. I was like, ooh, she's speaking to my heart. So first impressions are made at the point of sale. Impressions influence gift buying decisions. Premium packaging boosts repurchase rates. I got a picture of my beautiful tissue here. I love my tissue. I got boxes upon boxes of it. It actually came from Alibaba. And Cece Shirley, she's in my group. She's been printing a lot of our tissue paper for us. I love tissue. So I got this design from Chelsea Tay at Charming Finds, sent it to Cece Shirley. She sends me back all this tissue, and it's just so incredible. I just absolutely love it. Okay. Consistent branding across all platforms can increase your revenue by 23%. You're making your first impressions. So you could have like the best engraved goods, but if your packaging is crummy, your engraved goods don't look good. You got to make sure that your packaging and your presentation is on point. I put this in here because you might be at the point that you can't afford to buy all the stickers, all the bulk stickers, or you can't afford to buy branded boxes. When I looked into branded boxes a few years ago, I was like, yep, those are totally out of my budget. But what you can do, you can get these supplies from Xtool, and they actually sent me some rubber stamp supplies to try. I haven't gotten to it yet, but you can make your own stamps. Don't go buy it from somebody. You can actually make your own stamps. I'm saying don't go buy it from somebody, and I haven't even made my own yet. But look at this box here. You can stamp your own boxes, and then you can make them nice and branded. They look amazing with your little thumbnails all over those boxes. Okay. Tissue paper or felt. Like I just showed you my tissue paper already, but choose some tissue paper that's in your brand colors or subtle patterns. The guys at the Curious Bison in Oklahoma, they have a fantastic gift shop, and they actually just won best. Do they win best home decor, or do they win best gift shop in Tulsa? And Perry Designs got best as well. So it was really exciting to see that two of our friends both won best in their categories. But they just got some really cool tissue paper from CC Shirley with a little bison on it and a couple of the other little thumbnails that are representative of their business. It's gonna look super cool. I use my F1 to engrave my logo on my small boxes. Absolutely. Why didn't I even say that? Thanks for bringing it up, Monica. I do a lot of boxes on my F1, and you can brand your boxes on your F1. And it's so much fun. Okay, let's move on. Thank you cards. I thought I had one up here. But I don't. Yes, I do. Make sure you're adding your thank you card. So these were actually made by one of my group members. So Chelsea designed it for me. And then my group member, Jolanda, she has her business is PDS. Not to be confused with the PDS that does UV printers. She does, oh my gosh, I think the P stands for promotions. I just had this because I was going to talk about her. But my thank you cards, can't really see well. I come back to the camera and I'm going to turn it down when I'm done with my presentation. But my thank you cards, there's a space I can write a little note in there. And I think that's so important. I think it's so important to thank your customer. They mean a lot to you. And then on the back, I got my handle with care. Promos done smart. I couldn't think of the P word. Promos done smart. So she's printing another 1,000 for me because I blew through all of these. She just messaged me tonight before I got on here. So I'm really excited. And she wished me well. It's always so nice. Like, I have the best group members. Okay. Include your signature touch. This is just something that makes your customers go, oh, wow, that was nice. You know, you go to the Olive Garden. What do you get at the Olive Garden at the end of your meal? You get Andy's mints. Get some little lemon soft candies. Get some little gummy bears. So there's a company that does gummy bears, mints, lemon candies, whatever you want. What is your signature? Tell me what your signature tell me what your signature little touch is in the comments. I would love to see what you're doing for your signature touch. Maybe you're using a wax seal. You can actually make wax seals, and I have made a wax seal on my F1 Ultra. And you can get supplies for making your wax seals from you are maybe you make something like a small magnet. Maybe you have a sticker. So I saw that Monarch Pine, who is going to be at the Michigan meetup, Stephanie from the Country Porch Swing was making a bunch of stickers for Katie. So Stephanie, another maker at the Country Porch Swing, made some super cool stickers for Katie and Monarch Pine. So it appears that at the Michigan meetup, everybody's going to get some stickers from Katie. And I know she's going to the Homebound Custom Decor meetup. I think that one is this upcoming weekend. We weren't available for that one. But, you know, Katie's going to be at the Homebound meetup. And then Hannah, who works for Katie, is going to be at the Michigan meetup. So Monarch Pine is going to be represented at both. I wrap with hand stamped butterfly tissue paper, include handwritten thank you. Yes. Okay. I used to put 3 pieces of paint in one my order flag. I would send the metal magnet. That's cool. One of the things that I saw I thought was really cool too. I had a group member, Jennifer Sinclair, whenever she would do a recipe cutting board, she would engrave a little magnet, the recipe as well. I thought that was such a good idea. I gotta write that down. That was a good idea. Okay. Make it Instagram. Make it Instagrammable. Encourage sharing of your goods with the brand hashtag. You know, maybe you'll give them a percentage off if they share. That's nice marketing for you. You know, write a review. Tell us what you think. You know, hashtag primary market unwrap. What did you think of the goods? I put a small engraved heart with the jewelry that says engraved with love. It's cute. I like that. Okay. Where can you follow for more ideas? So you can follow us at Primary Market Laser Partners, and hopefully you can get the QR code here because I am blocking it. But Primary Market Laser Partners is where you can find my group. And then all my packaging materials, Everybody always asks, well, where do you get your packaging materials? I get my packaging materials from either Amazon or Uline. Uh-oh, lost me. Okay, my packaging materials, I have a whole Amazon storefront where I have all of that material. So, like I said, I go Uline or Amazon. When Uline has their free shipping sales, I stock up. But at Amazon, that's where I get most of my stuff. I hunt for the deals and I post in my storefront. Okay, so let's seal that deal. Let's make your customer have a memorable experience. This is something that went out right before I went to the conference in Texas. And my boxes were all crummy. So you know what I did? Got rid of the boxes. Cellophane. I love cellophane. Need to scale up my packaging because at the moment it's blown brown paper bag. They're getting me. Yeah, you can brown paper bag. Put some stamps in that brown paper bag. Put a little bit of ribbon on your brown paper bag, or just put a little piece of twine in your brown paper bag. I love when people send me a picture of something. They're like, "What would you do with this? How would you jazz this up?" And I was like, "This is what I would do. I love this. This is my jam. I love packaging." Okay, so here's some more pictures of stuff that we have recently done. Bakery boxes. Bakery boxes are awesome. Walmart had bakery boxes, but they've done away with their bakery box line. I'm not like crazy about the scallops on the edges of this. I kind of like more clean lines. But this was a bachelorette party box that was heading down to Florida. We did about 11 of these. So Nicole was a bride. We UV printed some tags. We added a bag with a with patch. I engraved that on my F1. It was a stinker because it's got that silver undertone, but I have those settings for the F1 in my laser group. And I UV printed the last toast. Okay, here's another one. This is a valet box from Maker Flow and an ashtray that I just snagged off of Amazon. I'm really into the grosgrain ribbon. Everything's been satin, but now I'm kind of like transitioning to grosgrain ribbon. Find your ribbon, find your colors. I like nice thick ribbon. So this is about an inch and a half. Um, I love ribbon, but this is one of the things, you just keep it simple and do it really well. All it is a sticker and some ribbon. Now, people got in touch with me today. Some friends actually got in touch with me today about like, where do I get my stickers? Printpire, Pire.com. Printpire Berlin does my stickers and they always look nice. They're always centered and he does a fantastic job. They're high quality. I love my stickers from Printpire. Okay. Baskets. I love baskets. When you're building a basket, get some height in there. Get some cellophane in there. Get those ribbons. Tie ribbons around all that stuff. I love this basket. This basket's huge. It gave her Marshalls. So the client actually dropped off the basket. She's like, do something with it. And I need something engraved, something personalized. And it's like, well, they're a young couple. It was a shower gift. And so what about a pizza peel? She's like, perfect. So we engraved the pizza peel and we did up the basket for her. And we were so proud of that basket. And this realtor does not. So these cutting boards came from Maker Flow, and they come in these fantastic boxes with all these utensils. This realtor does not like the boxes. She doesn't want the boxes. She wants some cellophane. She does not want the utensils. Fine with me. I'll sell off the utensils. But if you have a cutting board with a handle, put some cellophane around it. Tie it with some ribbon. On top here are some coasters. People ask me where I got these coasters. They're actually clearance, unfortunately, from JDS. But she always wants coasters and a cutting board. And these look so nice together. Okay. Oh, 150 bucks. I want you to type in the comments. One thing that you learned from this webinar that you're going to implement in Q4. What's one thing that you've learned from this webinar that you are going to implement in quarter four. Oh, Donna, I didn't know that you were getting print prior stickers too. I think he does such a good job. They're such nice quality. Okay, so what are you gonna do? 150 bucks, packaging, delegate. We could do a whole webinar on delegation. So I do, as you're typing away, I want to talk about delegation. I'm at the point that I'm just designing and running the UV laser. That UV laser is a little bit finicky when it comes to glass, so I like to run that. But everything else, like my Serenity, she is one of my high school students. She's been working for us since she was a freshman. She's running the F1. Running the F1 Ultra. She's running the S1. She's running all of my machines and my commercial grade lasers because I can't. We can't. As we're growing, this is the only way that we're going to grow our business. We need to delegate. Who does my packaging? I'd love to say I do. I don't anymore. It's my mother. They key in. I leave stuff out of the front door. My mom and dad come over. They take all the stuff, they package it at their house, and they bring it back. And that's the only way that we're going to do this. You know, we here in the house, we all have our certain jobs. I'm very fortunate that my husband is over here listening. He does the dishes, he does the laundry, he cooks. We tag team taking Jay to her cheer, sitting over there 3 days a week. But you know, it's just this ultimate delegation. You have to delegate. I delegate my photography. I delegate my website. I delegate my packaging. I delegate most of my engraving now. This is the only way that we're going to be able to grow. And being a teacher, it is so hard to delegate because we want to be in control of everything. So 150 bucks. What are you going to implement from this? Being prepared for the season. Yes. Yes. Yeah, Jay's business is doing amazing too. She is my little entrepreneur. I'm so proud of her. So Jay, gosh, this X Tool presentation, I haven't even talked about Jay. So if you're on the X Tool Facebook page, the little girl down at the park that sold over 75 engraved pencils, that was our daughter, Jay. They featured her on the Facebook, and we were so honored and so proud. Okay. Okay, more help. Yes, packaging. I need to delegate and teach them how to package like I want things packaged. That's the hardest parts. There's been many times that Jason's like, Serenity's going to school. She's very smart. She's very smart. She'll probably be our valedictorian. She's not sticking around here. She's going away to college next year. I'm no dummy. We're training Savannah, her sister. Savannah's a freshman. So Savannah and Serenity are our workers. Okay. Oh, thanks, Michelle. I've been purchasing from you ever since I met you at Next Level. It was so nice to meet so many people. Like it was just a dream come true to faces and names and meet all these people. It was just so much fun. Okay. So I'm gonna let Francis choose the $150 winner, and I'm gonna go and I'm going to show you my webcam because I want to show you some of these things up front and close so you can see some of the things that I've done on my Expo machines. Okay, so I gotta go to back here and okay, here we go. So let's talk about our packaging. Nicer. Oh, let's see in here. Okay, so cellophane. Cellophane those packages. If you don't have a box that the board comes in, so this is just a box, or I'm sorry, this is just a board that was made by a local woodworking friend. It had to be a specific size for corporate gifting last year. So I had a couple of these on hand, and then I just used them as one-off gifts. But you can see I got my broker ribbon. It's not the best quality. I got my, let's look at, that's better. Okay. I'm using this document camera here and it's so good. If you're in Texas and you go to the Gaylord, you can find one there too. 'Cause I'm pretty sure I left it there. So this is, like I said, um, this is just a board that we cellophaned and it just adds value. So I just wrapped it as if I would a present. So just like you would with wrapping paper, that's how I cellophane my goods. Okay, so this is something you could easily do on any of the actual machines. Okay, slate. I do a lot of slate on my X tool, and actually, little J, who is 9, she did all these for me last year. So this is a map of Ottawa, Illinois, which is our hometown. And actually, this is a Charming Finds design. So you just give her your city and give Chelsea your city, and she'll come up with a nice map for you. The map makers have another incredible service. They were at the Next Level conference too, so maps are really hot. So I did this for a fundraiser for our town, and I gave them back a percentage of all the sales. So they used it for the fireworks. But look at how good it looks. So this was actually done on my F1 original. Looks so nice. All this is just a little bit of cotton ribbon. This is in my Amazon storefront too. Stock up on the beads. You'll need them. Okay. Leatherette ornaments. Super easy. This was done on my F1 original as well. I use it. I think the F1 I use like most of the time. I do a lot of metal with my Ultra. Well, when it comes to just leatherette, I know my settings. It's really easy. So Crusader basketball, you can get these leatherette ornaments from JDS. If you don't have a JDS account, primarymarket.store. If you scroll down to blanks for makers, I do have some here in stock that I can sell you as well. So leatherette, super easy. But I want to go back to the slate. This is actually Virginia Mind US Slate. And this is actually from Slate Works, WORX. This is actually from slateworks.com. And they are actually Slateworks. Robbie from Slateworks is phenomenal to work with. Tell me in the comments if you've bought from slateworks.com and have interacted with Robbie. He is so great. I've never seen him in person. We only talk on the phone. But Robbie is going to be at the Homebound meetup this upcoming weekend. So those of you that are going to that, I know over 150 people are signed up. You get to meet Robbie. But yeah, this looks really nice. So a lot of people confuse this with the coaster. He drills a hole and sends it to us. And they're super affordable. This is the black slate, and I do get it finished. So that's a common, they don't have a cork back. So this is actually marketed by him as an ornament. Yeah, Robbie is fantastic. He is, and he's always so grateful. He's always so grateful whenever we post. Okay, so here's some wood that was cut with my S1. Like I said, my S1 is very, very clean. Santa's Magic Key, you can get keys off of Amazon. And this actually is True Flat. So I do a lot of True Flat. And I actually met them at the conference, and they're just a really awesome company. They're out of Canada. They are super generous with us. They're sending me samples all the time, new products, and they just really listen to the community. I really like True Flat. But these are nice little things even to have at a market. Speaking of markets, if you want to bring your X tool to markets, there is a great group that I would like to introduce you to. Cheyenne runs X Tool on the Go, and she's just great. So if you want to learn more about taking your X tool to markets, you can learn from our daughter Jay, she's 9, or you can learn from Cheyenne's group that's geared to taking X tool on the go. Oh, Blake's here. Blake, I hope your live went well. Leatherette is one of my favorite things to work with. gearing up for the holidays, holiday travel, introduce luggage tags. So these are JDS luggage tags. Um, I've been using them for a couple years, but now there's many more options. You can get some great luggage tags from Liz at Laser Outposts, and I saw some amazing laser tags by Make a Flow at the conference. So, like I said, each year realtors actually reach out and they want some gifts for their clients. And last year we did about 120 for one realtor of the luggage tags. I know that at the conference, the B2B class, Samita and Anuj actually did luggage tags on site for a travel themed, I believe it was an anniversary party. So you can do these on site really quick, and there's like little to no cleanup. But look how clean it looks. Okay. So, oh, thanks, Brandon. Brandon wrote slateworks.com, plug in another small business. So Brandon, why don't you drop your link too? Brandon is one of our group woodworkers. He does a fantastic job. He has some of the best blanks, and he has military duties, so he's been off for a little bit, but he's got somebody taking over for him. And I met Brandon last year at the Oklahoma conference, and it's just been a great partnership ever since. So check out Brandon's group. Check out Brandon's website. Brandon dropped that in the comments for him. So this is the JDS Leatherette. Again, Heritage Harbor is a little vacation destination area that they have vacation rentals. They have people living in the Heritage Harbor area. High-end homes is a beautiful, beautiful place. But make sure you are reaching out to those realtors. Realtors are, they are your evergreen customers. They're buying every week, if not every month. Okay. Let's talk about oh gosh, I gotta show you this. This is so cute. So this was done on the S1, and this is just a little cutout ornament. They drew that, and then we cut it out. I mean, who would not want to have that to give to a loved one? How stinking cute is that? A really good job. Yes, boss. That's right, Brandon. That's right. Okay. Oh, Heidi, you're the best. Cheyenne's group X Tool on the go. Yes, she's great. So here's Jay's little ornament. So these are some of my top sellers for quarter 4. Yeah, the luggage takes did come from JDS. I'm trying to see how this is going to look here. I'm going to flip over Jay's little ornament. Oh my goodness, I knew that these weren't going to show up that great, but I did this on my Ultra. You have a couple different options when it comes to jewelry. So this one actually came from Katie at Monarch Pine. She is just a fantastic girl, and I'm proud to call Katie a friend. So this was from Katie at Monarch Pine. We're doing some of these for the homecoming court. Simple, but super cute. The Ultra took me seconds to do. Oh, I thought I had some more to show you, but look at how nice and how dark that looks. And you can achieve the same results on the F1 as well. It's just going to take you a little bit more time. But thanks to Patrick Campanelli, it's not going to take you as much time as I used to take working jewelry on my F1. That E looks a little off-center to me. That might be a redo. But when you're looking for jewelry, you have a couple different options. Monarch Pine has great jewelry. Laser Outpost, and also tool on their site. They have a lot of really great jewelry options. So when we think about X Tool, we're thinking about the machines, but they have a lot of really great blanks. You can get them tonight with 10% off. Don't forget to use that code. Live KE10. Another thing that you should stock up on when you are on the X-Tool site, they're bookmarks. They have leatherette bookmarks. Hopefully they're in stock. The leatherette bookmarks, whether they're the little magnetic ones they showed my last slide, or whether they are the big long bookmarks. X-Tool bookmarks, leatherette bookmarks are the best. Hey, Jason, never. Okay, now what about if you have this is a bottle opener. Okay, these little things are just little elastics. You can get these from Uline. You can get them from Amazon. So these are about 26 inches, and they just wrap around your goods. They're super cheap. I mean, they're like 7 cents when you get them from Uline. You like my sticker? It's the best. My logo, done by Chelsea. And then, any guesses to what's inside of this? Where are the bookmarks from again? They're from xtool.com. They have the best leatherette bookmarks. So you can get the magnetic ones, or you can get the full rectangular bookmarks. I guess I don't know what they're actually called. And I put my rectangular bookmarks in these boxes. I just think that it just adds so much more value for like 80 cents. Okay, any guesses? Oh, Katie's daughter was teaching me how to make earrings at next level. That Stella is the cutest little thing. I love Stella. Okay. And Melody passed his little girl. They were so cute walking around. Okay, so this is bottle opener. So market to your groomsmen gifts, businesses, bars. Okay, but look how nice it looks. Just put in the box. I use these boxes for a lot of different things. And just wrap this around. Hold it right there. Wrap it up there. And there you go. I'm doing a fundraiser and they want bookmarks. Yes. You gotta go check out xtool.com. They have such nice bookmarks. Now, this, if your market hasn't touched this yet, my friends, let me show you what it looks like an elastic. Look at this is such a final finishing touch. I actually got some red ones for the Michigan meetup. So if you go on the Michigan meetup, everybody's going to get a box, and inside the box, you're either going to get a piece of true flat, or a piece of slate, or a leatherette ornament. You're going to get a piece of cotton ribbon. You're going to get a wooden bead, and you're going to get some twine. It's going to be a DIY ornament. So that's my contribution to the Michigan Summit, Michigan meetup. Okay, so yes, pretty box just made the gift look 10 times more expensive. Yes, it does. These boxes you can get for like 90 cents. Add that to your cost, of course. And I'm going to sell this for 22 bucks. And I've shipped, oh my gosh, if I looked at my reports, I've shipped hundreds over the course of the last couple of years. This is such a meaningful gift. Because someone we love is in heaven. There's a little bit of heaven in our home. So this is such a very nice, looks a little orangey, but this is a nice red. Let's see, exposure. You know, whatever. You get. So this is the Cardinal Slate Memorial. This I cut this from a packet of the painted MDF that Xtool is offering now. And it's super nice. I got it in a bundle of a couple different colors. You only need a little bit of that red. So you can cut some cardinals, or you can cut acrylic. And I have attached the bird, the cardinal, to the slate. This is SlateWorks slate. I attached the cardinal to the slate. A little bit of acrylic, and it is on there good. When I ship these off, I do make sure that when I put them in the box, I do put a piece of bubble wrap around, just so the little piece down here doesn't break off. And like I said, we've shipped hundreds. I had my influencer friend actually took this and she posted it. We sold them for 22 bucks. And I'll tell you what, of all that we shipped off, I think there's only one that had a broken little tip on here. But yeah, this is one that this file is on Etsy. SlateWorks X Tool MDF, painted MDF. Or yeah, you can use the true flat primed material and you can paint your own. That's a good point out. I am not a painter. I can't ever get anything to look good when I paint. But I'm going to go back to my screen here. And my friends, that is all I have for you tonight. It is 9:30 here in Ottawa, Illinois. It is my bedtime. I am truly honored that 100 of you still are here. 101 are still here to hear me rambling on. I want to thank Xtool, especially for giving me the opportunity to be with you tonight and offering the generous code of live KE10 that's going to be available for 3 days after this broadcast. But thanks to Francis and Nansen for meeting me this morning. It was 7 a.m. my time, and it was 9 p.m. their time. And so during their night, they got on with me just to make sure that I felt comfortable coming on today. So I really appreciated that. I would love to see you over my group, Primary Market Laser Partners. And everything that I shared here tonight will be available in the group. I'll have links to Xtool. I'll have that code, and I will be available to answer any of your questions. So don't forget, I'm a teacher. That's what I do. And I would love to answer any of your questions over in the group. I say the group's kind of magical. Okay, so I hope you all have a nice night. I can't wait to go back and look at all your comments. Oh my goodness, I just missed a bunch on the side. Okay. Awesome. Like I said, thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to sign off now. Oh, tuning in from North Central Florida is 10:30. I'm so tired, but I had to watch. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you were here. You guys, you really make my heart just burst. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. It's not easy for us to come on and do this. I went live in my group today and I was like, oh my God, I gotta get out of the kitchen because I'm gonna eat everything in the cabinets. I was so stressed out and you made me feel so comfortable. So thanks so much. I appreciate you. Okay. Good night, everyone.